Hi, my name's Aydin, also known in some circles as ATFC. In this series of Dance Music Masters videos, I'm going to give you an insight into the thought process behind and specifically how I made this release for Defected Records. It's ATFC's Get Your Hands Up, and I'm going to focus on the original drum pass. You'll notice that I'm using Logic, and you'll also probably notice that this track in question is really quite simple. There's not a lot going on. That's mainly because it was born out of a production session I was doing for Defected Records. I was basically producing a whole host of new radio jingles for their radio show, and they gave me the keys to their vault of acapellas and old tracks and asked me to create some new jingles from some of these acapellas and stuff. And I was chopping vocals in a different way to the original and creating kind of little loops to put over the radio show. I then got my hands on, excuse the pun, I got my hands on this Mike Dunn acapella and chopped it in such a way that they thought it was really quite hooky and that I should go away and make a full-blown track out of it. Well, it was only ever meant to be a kind of DJ tool, but it progressed into something a little more, not a huge amount more, but still it's an effective record in its own right, so they released it as a single. So over the next few videos, I'm going to take you through all the elements of the track and the production process behind it. Now, I'm not professing to be any kind of expert in production, even though I've been doing this for 20 years. I do things in a certain way. Some are technically incorrect, and really I just use my ears a lot during my production process. I'm not the most technically gifted of producer. So this is meant to be more of an eyes over my shoulder kind of look at how I do things. I'm not professing that this is the right or wrong way. It's just how I do things. So we're going to start off by looking at the kick, then we're going to move to the percussion elements. We're then going to look at the loops versus MIDI and why I used what and where. We're going to look at the bass, and in this instance it wasn't really a bass line as such, it was more a percussive element to the track. We're going to look at any musical elements that were in there and the all-important vocal elements, in this case the Mike Dunn acapella. Why I used audio and why I used sampler in some instances. Then we're going to look at the effects. Then we're going to move on to the buses, and in particular the parallel compression technique I used in this instance. We're going to look at the plugins I used, and then finally the also important master channel. So without any further ado, let's have a listen to the track in question. There you have it. There's a quick snippet of Get Your Hands Up, and I obviously cycled around a bit of a breakdown there and then coming back into the track. So just to reiterate, this is my way of doing things. I like to get to the point as quickly and as simply and as effectively as possible in my tracks. So really, this is the ATFC way of doing things. So stick around because we're going to kick off with the kick.